street at Heartbreak Hotel where I'll be just so lonely, baby. Well, I'm so lonely. I'll be just so lonely I could die.
This is Cerys Matthews, and I'm speaking with Eric Burdon today. Take the song that you completely popularised and made a global star with, House of the Rising Sun. American, you'd think, has its origins, so it's an English folk song as its origins, isn't it? And
I think so.
And the way you applied your, stylistically to it, it's a big rock and roll song, a huge weight.
There's still people writing books and debating where Rising Sun came from. It's my belief, though, that it's certainly not an American chord sequence. It's not a blues chord sequence. It's more, if you listen to it and dissect it, it's more of a Elizabethan kind of period. And I think it came across with Irish and Scottish settlers who decided to stay on the mountaintops of Appalachia. And once they were up on the mountaintops, they never came off because they couldn't afford to come off. You needed gasoline and you needed a car to come off. And it's certainly on record that the first time the words Rising Sun were used, Alan Lomax recorded a song from a girl called Georgia Turner, who was one of those Scottish immigrants, and it was called Rising Sun Blues. It wasn't House of the Rising Sun, but that was the key to the fact that kind of where it had its beginnings,
So you were watching Johnny play the guitar and hearing Elvis and feeling the influence of rock and roll, the early rock and roll days. When did you think, right, I'm going to start singing? And did you realise you had this immense voice?
Well, in school I was always getting ejected out of class, and it was all because of the inflection that I had picked up from blues and jazz music, Music class comprised of a teacher playing piano and trying to get 6 or 7 kids to sing along, and I would just be totally bored and wouldn't bother. And then one day she said, now we have a song that comes from America, and particularly from the southern states of America, and it probably came from black people, and it's called Poor Old Joe. And it's about a slave, didn't work and day. And I was like, right, I am coming, get out of here and never come back, So I thought, well, I'm onto something here, Then I heard the records my parents bought me, and then eventually I'll go down to the coastal area near Newcastle, Whitley Bay. There was a building there, it looked like an Islamic dome, it was called the Spanish City, and it had about half a dozen jukeboxes in there, and I would go there and spend my whole weekend leaning on the jukeboxes, and we became like little followers, little following American music. I mean, we would live from every Chuck Berry release to the next one. And the lyrics would mean so much to us, especially with Chuck Berry, because he was the one black guy that wrote for white kids. His songs were aimed at white teenagers. So in his lyrics, we learned more about America than we did in class doing sort of American history.
Running to and fro, hard working at the mill, never feel in the